Wait another few seconds while folks sit down. All right, let's get started. We're calling the February 23rd, 2024 Horizon Council General Membership Meeting to order. We're recording this for others that can review it that might not have a chance to be here. We're here at Florida Southwestern State College. Thank you to our hosts. And we're in classroom building U, room 102. My name is Guido Minaya. And if we could start with a Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Thank you. And now we start with our voting member introductions. And at random, I think Warren's going to start.
Start on one end.
Good morning, everyone. Mark Moore, County Manager's Office.
Good morning. Robbie Rebstorff with the Edison National Bank, Bank of the Islands, representing Industrial Development Authority.
Good morning. Ray Sandelli, County Commissioner, District 3.
Good morning. Holly Smith, City of Sanibel, and immediate past president for the Horizon Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Hayden, Cape Coral City Council, District 3.
Hello, everyone. Laura Carr, City of Bonita Springs, District 3.
Good morning, Matt Repsdorf, Horizon Council Secretary.
Good morning, Helen Edenfield, Vice Chair, Horizon Council.
Good morning, Gary Tasman, Cushman and Wakefield Commercial Property, Southwest Florida, and Chairman of the Business Issues Committee.
Karen Moore, Southwest Florida Business Today, and Chair of the Inclusion and Diversity Committee.
Good morning, everyone. Richard Aiken, Chair of the Bylaws and Governance Task Force.
Butch Swank, Goodlad and Swank Insurance, running the Insurance Affordability Task Force.
Good morning, Shelby Baucom, Southwest Florida STEM Education, and I am chairing the STEM to Career Connection Task Force.
Good morning, Sam Fisher, Chair, Lee County School Board.
Good morning, Steve Hennigan, Lee County Port Authority.
Good morning, Molly Scott with Christel Construction, representing Associated Builders and Contractors.
Good morning, Ryan Richards, RG Architects, representing the American Institute of Architects.
Rachel West, Southwest Florida, Inc.
Kelly Reyes with the Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce.
Mike Biskey with B&I Contractors, representing CareerSource, Southwest Florida.
Doug Geyer of S4J Manufacturing, representing the Industrial Development Authority.
Chris Spiro, Spiro and Associates, at-large member, no responsibilities. I've done it. I've been there. I got a T-shirt. Ray Sandelli won't talk to me anymore. I just don't understand.
Good morning, everyone. Bev Larson, ERA Lahaina Realty, member at large.
Joseph Janasha, Gulf Coast Business Bank, member at large.
Good morning, Gary Griffin, B&I Contractors, member at large.
Mary Gentile, LQ Property Management, member at large.
Good morning, Lori Moore with Rutzel and Andrus, representing the Real Estate Investment Society.
Julie Ramirez, Executive Director of Lee County Medical Society.
Good morning, Richard Durling with Marvin Homes, representing the Lee Building Industry Association.
Susan France with France Marketing Solution, representing Leadership Next.
Good morning, Jay Johnson, Bova's Roadhouse, representing the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association.
Good morning, Dusty Shelton with Cape Coral Council for Progress.
Good morning, Donna Germain, President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of Cape Coral.
Good morning, Eileen Buchanan, Southwest Florida SCORE Chapter.
Good morning, Rob Harris, Executive Director of the Southwest Regional Manufacturers Association.
Buenos dias, everyone. Edie Batten, Cash Flow Strategies, Business Coaching and Consulting, and I'm the chair for the Southwest Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Colleen Jorgensen, Vice President, Southwest Florida Tech, also with Hotwire Communications.
Good morning, Tony Loppe, Chairman of Sanibel Captiva Beach Resorts, representing the Tourist Development Council.
Good morning, Dana Brunette, Lee County Economic Development Office.
Good morning, Evelyn Valdez, Lee County Economic Development Office.
Good morning, Amanda Kent, Lee County Economic Development Office.
Good morning, Bill Johnson Jr., Executive Director of the Horizon Foundation.
And Warren Baucom, Lee County EDO.
Good morning, Karen Borelli, Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association.
Okay. Thank you all. And again, welcome. Let's move. And we're so excited about this particular focus for our meeting today. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So glad you're here. Such a critical initiative to discuss for our community. But let's just start briefly with the chairman's report. So just to again, just to reacquaint ourselves, right? Our vision is to make Lee County a beacon of thriving business, empowered communities, robust workforce, innovative education, where the quality of life intertwines with economic vitality, right? So this is our, this is the end state that we want to be in by 2026, right? Quite a bit of work to do to get there. And how do we do this as the Horizon Council, the Horizon Foundation, and the EDO, right? So we have, in essence, three big sectors of our activities, and one is in advocate and educate. Some of the reports that you receive from the EDO, and in so many ways that we're receiving information, the annual report that you received, all of that is in terms of like educating us on what's taking place in our community. There are those items that we're going to select where we choose to take a stand on, and we advocate for our community in specific areas, right? We host convenings. This is one of our convenings. We have 7 of these each year, and we try this year, as we do in every year, we try to focus it on what does our business community really need us to learn more about, have connections on, right? Okay, great. And then lastly, we take direct action. Direct action is through our committees and our task forces, right? Those are those few things that the committees decide, you know what, this is something we really, no one else is doing it, we need to expand on it, let's get it out to our business community. So those are the 3 areas. And the reason that all that's important is that in our surveys over the last, since October, right, of our investors, of our Horizon Council voting members and others, our county commissioners and county staff, we listed out what are the top issues that are facing our community. Overwhelmingly, the focus area, the number one focus area for the Horizon Council and Foundation was workforce development and retention, right? So how do we attract businesses and industries that offer higher than average wages? How do we strengthen workforce opportunities? How do we address workforce attraction and retention? Workforce aspects, including housing and living wages, that's, of course, a huge one, right? And employer engagement in addressing housing challenges, and advocate for workforce development and skill development. So, there's a gentleman by the name of Josh Burson. He had his consulting company back in 2003. It was purchased by Deloitte. He's, in essence, one of the thought leaders on workforce and talent development. He talks globally and nationally, right? There's never going to be enough workforce. So no longer will there be enough of a workforce to solve all of the issues that are facing us, right? How do you then take that reality and work from it from a business perspective? And the only way is you have to make your existing teams and the teams that you do attract super workers. You have to give them additional skills, additional capabilities to be able to adapt to the new structure. So that is why we're so excited about the discussion today and the presentation today. We settled on 4 focus areas for our strategic plan: internal and external communications, elevate the community awareness. align and collaborate in order to support local businesses, reinforce workforce education, which we're talking about today, and boost workforce. It could be through advocating for affordable housing and other arenas, right? But today, we are focused on the workforce education segment. One item that is important, internal and external communications, we want to make sure that you're clear, that we're clear, that all of our aligned structure is moving in the same direction, right? So we felt that internal and external communications was critical. We've already met with Dave Harner and Mark Mora and updated them on our strategic plan. The next set of meetings is with Commissioner Sandelli and other commissioners, just to let them know what we're doing, what other inputs they have and guidance they have for us. And then the resilient LEAP plan, which Holly's going to the meeting a little later this morning, that's going to be filed in a few weeks. And Dave Harner, our county manager, has offered to share the final results with us maybe in the April timeframe. So that's pretty much it. Now, another difference for this year is that we've expanded our committees and our task forces. You're going to see in our rolling advertisement of the Horizon Council, we've now added the committee chairs and the task force chairs. So we've got Gary Tasman, Business Issues, Inclusion, Diversity, Karen Moore, Sports, Adam Palmer. And then task forces, we have Richard Aiken for Bylaws, STEM to Career, Shelby Balcom, Insurance Affordability, Butch Swank, Trucking Innovation is open. Which committees do we feel need some additional team members? Is there, from our committee chairs or task force chairs, is there any that need additional team members that you'd like to see on your committees? Okay, Inclusion and Diversity, we've got STEM to Career. Any others? Okay, right? So, yeah. Right. And really, this is where the fun work is, where you get to collaborate on something that may make a huge difference for our community, right? So Gary's team has been working on how can businesses be more resilient after a hurricane. And in May, we're planning a very exciting workshop that will help businesses do that. Karen and the Inclusion Diversity team, one of our first supplier diversity workshops takes place at the end of this month. So again, this is where the real work gets done, so we invite you to participate. And with that, that's it. And now we have our foundation report. Our president, Mr. Buck Stevens.
Guido, thanks for delivering that eloquent presentation right before my handwritten report. Feeling a little inferior this morning, but we'll roll with this. So February 1st, we had our annual meeting, and probably most of you were there. A lot of you were there. It was a phenomenal turnout. It's always great to go to an event when there's awesome news that's delivered, right? So, I mean, those of you that were there, our economy is just doing wonderful. We had 350 people in attendance versus the 250 last year. So we're glad to see everybody getting more engaged in the community. And out of that, and I think probably because of the presentation and showing what Horizon Council Foundation Economic Development Office is doing, we had 7 new Horizon Council investors. So, yes. So through that, to date, Mr. Bill has collected about $70,000. Last year, we rolled out the year, or finished the year with about $505,000 in donations that we can deploy back to the community. This year, his goal is $575,000. So we upped that about 15%. And talking to him yesterday, he's so committed to that. He's excited. Actually, thinks I should be higher than that, but anyway. And then the fun stuff. So on February 6th, the Community Foundation held an awards program, and unfortunately, Holly couldn't be there, so I got to stand in her place, and it's really not fair because Bill and I got to accept this award for work that I didn't do because it was for last year, but it's Board of Directors Award for Extraordinary Service. So Horizon Foundation members, do we have a few stand up, be recognized? Yes? Holly? So, I'm going to give it to her in a minute. So I have to tell you that, so going into this, whenever you go into a new position, I've been on a few boards, like you wait and then it's like what's uncovered that you're not aware of. I've been left in an envious position. The foundation's doing great. The groundwork that you two have led, we're financially secure. We've got a great board, so I'm looking forward to this year. And I'm not usually into regifting, but since you couldn't be there, this actually goes back to the Economic Development Office, but if you'd like to hold it for a few minutes. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mark. And Mark was also, and Matt as well, both of them were on a panel on providing guidance on running a nonprofit and whether it's governance or what great recommendations. And we're fortunate to have two of our team members here that were those panel specialists. So we're looking for better guidance over the next year. All right, now we have our Commissioner Sandelli report. And Commissioner Sandelli.
Did you do a PowerPoint? No, I have mine in crayon. Thank you, brother. You know, I'm still working on my imitation of our chairman here. When? How you doing? So I'll get it right and stuff like this. Lovely guy, and you're off to a great start. It's been a challenging week, and I'll touch on a couple of those things this week, but it was nice to come in here and sit between two of my very close friends who I admire, Holly, and congratulations on the work you did, and Robbie, best smile in the town. And I also want to congratulate Robbie. She was just named the chairman of our Airport Authority Advisory Board. She's done great work in the past, and Noel Andrus, I think, is the vice chair. And I've got, if any easy questions, ask me. Any hard questions, I got my partner at work, Mark Mora, ask him. So anyhow, I want to briefly touch on a few items. We got a great program today, so I'll try to step through this fairly quickly. As we all know, permitting has been a challenge for a long time, for all of us in a lot of different ways. I don't know how many people are aware of this, but we had a situation come up this week. It came up actually Tuesday. State 404 program. I don't know if you've heard about that, and I'll stay later. Mark can help me with that. John, we've talked about it this week. Basically, the state of Florida, through the governor, tried to step in and say, look, we can do permitting fairly quickly. We can help. And so we were pursuing that. I say we, the state was pursuing that. And that ended up going to a judge in Washington, D.C. And that issue was challenged by a number of the conservation groups, which is certainly the right to do. That was, the judge denied our program and stuff like that. So it got kicked back to us. This has happened Tuesday, so it's a challenge. And it got kicked back to us. We wanted to see if there was a period of time that we try to cure this. It's a very short fuse. So I wrote to the governor yesterday. I know a few other people did. We're trying to see if there's any room to work through this. And so this involves anything that's wetlands and anything that has endangered species. And it's important to all of us. The problem is that I asked from our staff what was already in play and what potentially could be affected by this. And they came back to me with a number of $765 million that could potentially be affected for this. So there's a lot of good news out there. This doesn't shut down all permitting, but if it involves endangered species and wetlands, it's going to be an issue. So I'll be here. Mark is here. John Talmadge is aware of this. We've had a lot of conversations over the last couple of days. Think about what that can do. So now this goes back to the Army Corps, who does a great job, but they're not really staffed for this. And they're great people, but now you're going to start looking at delays. You're going to start looking at cost increases. We talk a lot about jobs today that we're preparing people for. If some of these projects get shut down, the kids that are working so hard and the schools that are trying to prepare these kids are going to be affected. So I don't want to throw a damper on this. Well, hopefully some reason will come out of all this, but it's an important issue. I've talked to a number of people. Most of us weren't even aware. I found out about this in a little bit of detail Tuesday while we were on the dais. So other than that, I I want to, as far as the county, we're going through a pretty extensive review of our LDC codes, looking for conflicts. I mentioned this at the executive meeting, redundancies, codify some of the interpretations. We're working every day to try to bring some clarity to the process itself, and the team's doing a great job. I want to give a shout out to the county appraisal group. I spent at least one day a week down the beach, and the appraisal group sent down a team, and they were meeting with people down there who had questions. It went very orderly, very simple, very easy questions to respond to. So I'm going to thank those who took the time to go down there to sit down with the people. Nothing beats one-on-one when you can sit down and talk with somebody. Also want to give a shout out to our staff. As you probably know, that the county took over the operations for the fair, and there's a lot of work to be done on the property itself. The fair's coming up here pretty soon. It's now the Ag Expo because of some changes we had to make in recasting this. I was out there twice in the last week and a half. The dates are February 29th to March 10th. I would encourage you to get a ticket, go out there and see the facility. The improvements are terrific, and it's a very important part of bringing people in our community together. We had a joint MPO meeting this past week between Charlotte and Lee County, and the continued growth, is pretty amazing and stuff like this, and how we handle it and the challenges associated with that. There is work being done, certainly continued work being done by the chambers, especially on the barrier islands, and we're working through some issues there to see where we can get some additional support, both financially and operationally to the chambers. They are such a critical part to not only welcoming people back, but setting the stage for those that are coming back. Let's see. I want to thank also our first responders. We obviously had a very critical situation a week or so ago. We had the sheriff and some of his team when the Bank of America was robbed and so on and so forth. And the response to that was very quick. Unfortunately, it ended, in a loss of a life. But it could have been much worse if the sheriff's group didn't respond to that. So I worry about them every day. I just want them to come home safe, as I'm sure all of you do. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandelli. All right, and now we have our director, John Talmadge, Economic Development Office.
Good morning. I'll be short. For the 8th straight month in January, Lee County led the state across all metropolitan areas for economic growth and job creation. So that's a terrific number to have achieved. Amazon's opening up a third facility in Lee County. It'll be a 6-hour facility, so it's all for same-day deliveries. And they're beginning to look for a fourth facility, which will be a large fulfillment center. And for our university partners, every employee in that fulfillment center will be eligible for a 4-year college scholarship. So that's going to be a tremendous opportunity for people. With that, that's it.
Great. Thank you, John. Thank you.
So Amazon will pay for that? Yes. And they're actually going to build classrooms in their facility.
Great question. Great question. Yeah, and just before we move to the nonprofit minute, at the end of our session today, right, we open it up for our voting members to see if they have any announcements that they may want to make. So you might be thinking of an announcement that you want this group to be familiar with. I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. So now, nonprofit minute. We have the Dubin Center. We've got Lynn Thorpe that's going to be sharing information with us. Lynn is the executive director of the Dubin Center, and she joined the Dubin Center in September of 2020. She holds a master's degree in business administration and special education. She has dedicated her career to working with families with special health care needs and promoting access to health care. And she and her husband moved to Estero in 1995, and they raised 3 daughters. And without further ado, Lynn. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I understand I have 3 minutes for my nonprofit minute, so I'm going to try to get to it. So the Dubin Center has been around since 1995 as well. It's 29 years old this year. We provide free education and support to families who are dealing with a dementia-related disorder like Alzheimer's disease. The center is located just about a mile away from here off of College. And last year we helped over 700 families right here in Southwest Florida. We are funded primarily through United Way. About 18% of our funding comes from United Way, and the rest is through grant writing and public and private support. We offer educational programs. We offer two classes. One is dealing with dementia. One is Savvy Caregiver. We teach more of these classes than any other program of our kind in the whole country. We also provide various support groups, and this year we have been providing something called Brain Boosters in low-income senior housing communities around Lee County. We do this because we know that social isolation increases the risk of dementia by 50%. So we are doing this as an outreach campaign. I wanted to take this opportunity also to tell you about the Reunite program. This is a program through United Way and the Sheriff's Department. I like to boost this as often as I can in big groups. So the Reunite program is free in Lee County. It is a simple kit, and this is appropriate for people who are prone to wandering. So think about children with autism or adults with Alzheimer's. The kit is very simple. It comes with a sterilized cotton swab. You basically just swab the armpits of the person who is prone to wandering. It goes in this glass container. It's labeled and put in the refrigerator. If the person ever goes missing, you call 911. The Sheriff's Department comes to the home with bloodhounds. They smell the cotton. They work in conjunction with drones on the ground support and helicopters to recover individuals who have gone missing. So if you know of anyone who can use this, you can contact the center, Sheriff's Department, or United Way. So please pass the word around. I had the opportunity also to tell you about our fundraiser that's coming up at the end of March. It is the 27th annual Breaststrokes from the Soul. I have some flyers at the back. This year, the new Clive Daniels showroom that's just opened up about a mile away as well has offered their space to the Dubin Center for free. It's not your typical gala. This is going to be an opportunity for our clients to come as well. With the people that they're caring for. We have artwork that they've created that will be auctioned off and on display throughout the showroom. Food and drinks will be available, and it will be more of like an open house after work. So anyone is welcome to come. I'd love to see you there. And lastly, we have some positions that are open on our board. It would be very helpful to have someone with experience with capacity building or human resources. If you're interested, please give me a call. And lastly, and most importantly, if you know someone who could use our help, please refer them to the Dubin Center. I assure you that after they come, I see this all the time, they leave feeling like a weight has been lifted off their shoulder. They leave knowing that they're not doing this on their own, and you will really change their life as well. So thank you very much for having me.
Great. All right. Well, again, as I shared, we intentionally scheduled this topic in February because it is mission critical for many of our businesses. So we want to welcome Whitney Rhyne, who's the Assistant VP, Division of Workforce Education here at FSW. And Whitney brings 14 years of experience in higher education to the role, skilled in strategic planning, project management, analysis, and reporting, and serves as the institutional liaison for local, state, and federal workforce initiatives. And she oversees partnerships, articulation agreements, and supports million-dollar workforce grants. Thank you.
Let's see. I do have some slides. All right. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here and to speak with all you guys today. What a wonderful group. You guys are on the campus of FSW, Florida Southwestern State College. You guys are on our Lee campus, but we have service locations in serving all of Southwest Florida. So you're on our Lee campus. We have a Charlotte, Collier, and Henry Glade service location. Here on our Lee campus, you may not know, we have on-campus housing. We have the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in some national championship sports teams. Our softball team won recently. We are your region's open access higher education provider. We have 60 different academic programs of study. 59 of those we would consider workforce programs, preparing students with skill and knowledge to enter into the workforce. We've been here serving the community for 60 years. I'm so proud of that. We have 2 collegiate high schools where students earn their high school degree in Associates of Arts degree, but we've transitioned it where they can now earn some of our workforce programs in that program as well. So we're really excited for that. Our collegiate high school, we have one right across the way here on Lee campus, one on our Charlotte campus. And our 2 collegiate institutes, we have one in Clewiston and one in Moorhaven. We have 5 academic schools where all of these programs are housed. And this is what some of those programs of study look like. So I noted we have 60 different academic programs of study. In the way we're set up, right, as the open access higher education provider is really workforce focused, workforce driven, right? So we have those shorter term credentials where students can start at FSW, gain skills that lead to employment very quickly. We have 29 certificate programs. They are listed there. Students can complete some of them in as little as 1 semester. Some may take a little bit longer, gives them skills to be job ready. But all the work they did in that certificate program can translate and help them earn the associate's degree. So they're already halfway there. So we're set up to have stackable credentials for our students. So it helps them achieve accomplishments. They can even gain employment at that time and get employer support for continuing their education. There again, all the credits they earn in their associate's degree can stack towards a bachelor degree as well. So stackable credentials is something that we're really into. We've got a great degree of a great offering of programs here at the college. And I'm going to touch in and show you some of our stackable credential pathways because I get really excited about this, seeing how students can be workforce ready quicker. So I don't know about you, I've got a bachelor's degree in finance, and it took me 4 years to get something of note to put on my resume, right, in my time of going to school. And that's a pathway that, many students are thinking about, right? It may be what we're talking to them about, what they're thinking about in high school. But what I'm showing you on this screen is our stackable pathway to our supervision and management bachelor degree. So we get students in a pathway where they can earn credentials of value early. So even in their first semester, they can earn some industry certifications, let's say in computer applications. They can select a college credit certificate where they're working towards that. In this pathway, they have some selections to make: business development and entrepreneurship, small business management, risk management. Again, all of the work they're doing in that, they're going to earn that credential. It could help them get a job, but they can also continue on, right, and use all that credit towards the next step. So I think the visual is nice to see. We've got different opportunities and things they can earn throughout, some badges that I'll get into in a little bit more detail, and working their way into an associate's degree and then a bachelor degree. So this is the stackable credential pathway I just showed you, but I want you to also see how it maybe aligns with other educational providers in our area. So we have articulation agreements with all of our technical colleges in our region, right? So Immokalee Tech, Lorenzo Walker Technical College, Cape Coral Technical College, Fort Myers Technical College, and Charlotte Technical College. So we review their academic programs every year, and we align it to our academic programs here at FSW every year and write articulation agreements. So Cape Coral Tech and Lorenzo Walker have programs where students are taking clock hours, they're taking their program of study, and we can articulate what they did there to college credit here at FSW to, again, decrease the time to earning credentials, right? Helping them use the skill set they learned and applying it to credentials here at FSW. Then, on the other end, our students who earn their bachelor degree in supervision and management, we have agreement for direct admissions to FGCU's MBA program. So really showing sort of that pipeline and that pathway for education. Another great stackable pathway that we have is in our IT area. So we have a bachelor's degree here at FSW in Information Systems, and this is what the stackable pathway looks like. So as a student, wouldn't you be so excited every time you earn some of these different credentials? And so these are industry certificates. So this is what you need on your resume, right, when you're going into IT. Our students, when they take various classes, that's represented here, so like hardware and software classes here at FSW, leads to a CompTIA A+ 101 and 102 industry certs. That's a credential of value that we help our students get. When they do about 2 semesters worth, they're ready to earn their Information Tech Support Specialist CCC. And at that point, they have a lot of credentials where they are highly employable within the industry, right? So they're, again, going into work, getting into the workforce sooner, and maybe even having their employer help pay for them to come back to FSW and continue on the pathway. So this is really great. Also, we can, again, help students who have industry knowledge earn college credit for that knowledge. So if students come to us, they've worked in the IT industry, but maybe don't have any higher education experience so far, but they have some of these industry certs. They have industry cert in Network Plus or Security Plus. We can award them college credit for that. Again, reducing their time to degree completion, helping them earn that degree and those credentials quicker. Here again, you can see some of our partners that we have stackable programs with. So Cape Coral Technical College, Immokalee Technical College, in gold standard articulations. So even in our high schools, we have great high schools with great career academies that we are connected with and aligned with. They are earning some of these industry certs in their high school program. We can then take that and translate that to college credit for them, again, to help them earn that degree quicker, to help them be workforce ready even quicker. Here's another stackable credential pathway in our firefighting area. Again, you can see the theme, right? All of our programs are aligned like this, those stackable credentials. For firefighters, students can earn a fire certificate in just 7 months, be prepared to take the Florida fire examination, be a firefighter, and they can continue on with us, right? As they're pursuing their AS in fire science, they can earn that Officer 1 industry cert, they can earn the Inspector 1, and maybe they want to be a chief or a captain on the fire team. They can continue with a bachelor degree with us in public safety administration. So these are some of the great pathways that I want to share with you guys. Now, many folks think of us as maybe the first 2 years of your 4-year experience, right? That's what maybe a perception of community college, open access institutions was. And we do have a lot of students that's what their goal is here at FSW, and we're proud to serve those students as well. Even within that general first 2 years of a 4-year experience, we are helping our students earn some stackable credentials within that. So within that, students have 24 credit hours of general electives. All of these CCCs that you see on the screen have 18 or fewer credit hours. So you could be a general studies student doing your first 2 years of your 4-year experience, and you could earn an audio tech management CCC, a digital arts CCC, a computer programming specialist CCC, and that will help you in earning that AA degree. All of them except for emergency tech CCC count and help the student earn their AA degree. So again, the ability to stack, for students to stack different credentials here at FSW is endless. There's so many different great opportunities for our students. You guys have heard digital badging and micro-credentials as a hot new thing, and we have ventured into that realm as well, and we're really excited. We started with thinking about allowing students to see the link of their coursework to industry certifications and making that a little bit more visible for them. So when students take one of our entry-level accounting classes, they have the skill and knowledge to do well on the bookkeeping industry certification exam. That's a credential that they need to put on their resume, they need to go for, and that's going to help them with their employability. So we made a badge to help students see that connection and help them earn those industry certifications. We did the same thing for QuickBooks, and this is really a recruiting tool for our students in some ways. You took the financial accounting class. guess what? If you take this computer applications class, you have the skill and knowledge to get the QuickBooks industry certification. So really helping students see some of those pathways that have existed, making them a bit more visible. One of our exciting badges that so many of our students should take advantage of and are taking advantage of is our risk management and insurance badge. This is what a pathway for that looks like. So if our students take 3 risk management and insurance classes that are listed there on the screen, paired with any degree here at the college, so an AA degree, an AS degree, or a bachelor's degree, those students get to bypass the state examination for 3 Florida insurance licenses that are listed on the screen. Those tests are really hard. People who have studied to take those tests are so envious of this opportunities. So getting our students to, again, be aware of this through some of our marketing and through some of the badge development, and also through the generous support of the Economic Development Office and the ARPA funding, we've been able to, every student who wants to do this pathway, it's fundable right now if you are a Lee County resident, thanks to that support. We have many programs that is the case. So we're really thankful for that support from the Economic Development Office and making those things happen. We also have badges in some other areas. We have a new Center for Emerging Technology here at the college, and in that area, they have produced some badges in AI. So badges on AI basics, so our students can learn about that, AI applications and AI ethics. Students can do this, just on their own. Also, faculty are embedding these badge opportunities in courses for students as an option for them to get these micro-credentials. Some other badges that we are doing are related to skill and experiences. So the first one on the screen, it's not FSW branded, not our colors. So that's one we're required to do by the state. It's co-branded by the Florida College System and the State University. It is our Foundations of Communication badge. We also have, so that's for students who are completing a composition class here at the college. We also have our Center for Undergraduate Research created a advanced undergraduate research badge. So again, helping our students note some of the skills they're gaining in their academic experiences on their resume. To say you did a research project, what does that really mean, right? You had to think about research. Am I doing qualitative? Am I doing quantitative research? You had to do a study. You had to present your study. You had to collect data, right? All those elements. So a lot of different skills are represented in these badges. We've got various language badges, again, to help students articulate some of the skills that they're learning through their educational experiences here at the college. Another unique one is our COIL badge. It's our collaborative online learning experience. And so we partner with international universities and have our students do sort of an exchange online because, costs can be prohibitive for some study abroad experiences, but we still want our students to engage in these experiences. And those students will earn a badge noting that experience as well. So those are some of the ways that we are employing badges at FSW. We are excited to explore further opportunities with you guys. Kristen's going to share some really exciting ways FGCU is exploring badges, and we'd love to work with businesses who might be interested in partnering with us in that capacity as well. Here at the college, we have many different guided pathways, 10 different ones. You can kind of see in what I'm explaining today, there's a lot of detail in the way students can stack their schedules. So we have different guided pathways to help students see all the opportunities if they're interested in business or if they're interested in health sciences, so they can really dig into what the opportunities are in each of those pathways. I noted a little bit about funding. So we, with the generous support of the Lee County Economic Development Office, we had ARPA funding to help develop some badges and to help us promote some of our stackable credentials and those micro-credentials. And that really helps set the tone to help us be able to receive some state funding and some federal funding with open door funding and a direct allocation of WIOA funding to the college to really support and reduce the financial costs for students thinking about attending FSW. So here's all of our academic programs again. You saw this slide earlier, but all the ones that have a color now are fundable. So every student interested in one of our ARPA fundable programs, which is teal there, through this year, through 2024, they can come for free if they can prove their Lee County residency and if they are upskilling, right, to help better themselves for an increased job opportunity. The yellow ones, again, we can remove the financial costs for all students interested in these IT pathways and our architecture, construction, and design pathways, with just being a Florida resident, being 18, and if you're male, that you've completed selective service. So many opportunities here. FSW is already value-oriented at just $113 per credit hour, but we actually have ways for our residents to come here for free here at FSW for many of our programs. And I do have some flyers back there. If there's anyone in your orbit that you would like to get this information to, we would love to share that. Our programs are, of course, connected to our region. We align our programs through our targeted occupation list that the state provides, through our master credential list, and we take input from you guys, our community. We have 16 different advisory boards that advises many of our workforce programs. You can see the listing of advisory boards on the screen. John Talmadge is on our architecture construction advisory board, so we appreciate that support and that service. And we have 353 members that serve on those boards. So they help look at our academic programs, look at what we're teaching in the class, and help us better align it to the needs of you guys, the employers hiring our students. Here are some of the other ways we connect with employers. This is our 2023-2024 calendar for our Career Connection lecture series. I see Susan Francis up there. She was part of our entrepreneurship panel, and some of our largest employers in our regional area have been featured. So we're really excited to connect with employers and to help our students see so many of the opportunities here. At our last panel, they talked about, QuickBooks, they talked about bookkeeping, they talked about so many skills that our students can develop right here to make them more employable. I oversee the Division of Workforce Education at the college, so that includes support for our workforce programs, our Career Connection Center, in our Office of Corporate and Community Education. So our Office of Corporate and Community Education is our continuing education department here at the college, offering non-credit programming. Here's a list of some of those programs that are offered. And so we'd love to be able to support employers in offering any of these areas. And a lot of these also have badges associated with them that students can earn. Here's where we're going. Some of our programs that we are eager to launch in this coming academic year. Physical therapy assistant AS degree. Hodges, is closing down, and that's a program that we're picking up to support and fill that need within the community. Advanced medical assisting, which also has a medical assisting specialist credential within it. Supply chain management, which has logistics and transportation CCC within it. Social media communication, and a teacher apprenticeship program to help individuals who are already working within the school district but not at that teacher level utilize their experience to make the time to degree completion a lot quicker. So we've got a grant from the Florida Department of Ed to help with that. So it appears I'm probably close to my time, but I get excited, so thank you guys. And now I have the pleasure of turning it back over.
Thank you. Thank you, Whitney. All right. I mean, incredible information, and I'm sure we're going to be able to leverage that. So let's welcome Kristen Vanselow, Assistant VP Innovative Education and Partnerships at FGCU. And as a leader in higher education for 25 years, she assumed her role as Assistant VP for Innovation, Education, and Partnerships, where she provides leadership for all of what we're talking about today. And she also recently served on the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools to inform them on policy changes regarding these kind of programs.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Doing well? Well, I want to tell you, I have to take a deep breath after listening to Whitney because there's so much going on here at FSW, and we are so proud at FGCU to be partners. What I didn't get a chance to say when I was asked for some of my background in history is that I had my start right here when we were at Edison State College back in 2005, where I got to help develop some of the new and innovative programs that I'm so proud to see have just expanded and taken off. I am so proud to represent FGCU in all that we are doing to commit to developing programs with and for our employers. When we talk about stackable credentials, for years and years and years, FGCU has certainly been known as offering bachelor's degree and graduate degree programs of emphasis and importance to Southwest Florida. But it is because of the investment that you all make and the investment that has been made by the Lee County Economic Development Office, in addition to them leading us to getting this fantastic $22.9 million grant for Southwest Florida so that we can expand workforce programming. Now, what we didn't talk about, because I'm going to focus on micro-credentials and digital badges at FGCU, but what I do want to just say that kind of piggybacks off of some of the things that Whitney shared with you today is that we really have had amazing investments made by many of you in this room. If it had not been for the Lee County IDA and Future Makers Coalition working together with us, we wouldn't be here today with the other funding sources that we have been able to acquire, and we wouldn't be able to make the impact that we're making. So it's everybody in this room and your philanthropic commitment to this work that is making it possible. So what are digital badges? Do you want to earn one? Because we can help you do that. What you know about FGCU already is that we were able to join this fine region as your state regional institution back in 1997. For 26 years, we have now been in operation. Last year was a big year with the 25s, but you can see that within this short time period, we have expanded to now enrolling 16,000 students here regionally. And our goal is to keep that talent here. They're coming from all over the state and beyond, and our goal is to help keep them here. We offer now 64 bachelor degree programs and 26 graduate degree programs. And I don't know if you remember this from years ago, but there used to be this wonderful out-of-state advertisement that would say, we offer 80 degrees all year round. And so I think we should bring it back, but with climate change, it's going up a little bit. But at FGCU, we have developed the power of and. What does that mean? Well, it means that we still hold true to our primary mission, which is to offer those undergraduate and graduate degrees of distinction here in Southwest Florida. But we want to do a little bit more. We want to give our students a little bit of an opportunity that they did not have previously. And it's all optional for these students. And so we have developed 3 different types of micro-credentials. So micro-credentials are really meant to be shorter-term, bite-sized opportunities to get skills, knowledge, abilities that can be easily applied and recognized by our employers. So we have 3 different ones, and I'm going to talk in a little more detail about each of those 3 types, beginning with telling you our definition of a micro-credential. So I know you can read this along with me, but what I really want to really drive home is that the micro-credentials we've developed at FGCU as the and for our students are based on competencies defined by you. This is not faculty defined. In some cases, those industry partners might be an industry certifier, like an IBM or other well-known leaders within certain industries. But it's defined by you and assessed in collaboration. We don't want to do this on an island. We want to do this as a community. And key to that is that this happens outside of our traditional degrees. So it's something that the student will do in addition to what they're already learning at the institution. So the micro-credentials truly are that learning experience, like a degree program, and the digital badge is the way that a student shares it. So the digital badge, what's key about this, it makes it transparent for you to understand exactly what the student has learned, what the community member has learned. They are able to share that electronically so that you can see what were those competencies, what were those skills, what did they have to learn, how did they prove that they knew it, and have that validation immediately. How many of you look at transcripts when you hire individuals? Some of you. Well, that's a great list of all of the accomplishments and grades that a student might have earned, but it doesn't tell you much about what each of those classes included, right? It doesn't tell you exactly what they were able to master along the way. We want you to know what they're mastering along the way. So these are the 3 requirements that hold strong throughout our programming. Number 1, We are always developing something that is backed by employers. We are not doing that on an island. Number two, we are basing it on the competencies and skills that you want to see your employees able to achieve and deliver upon. And three, we always assess it outside of the curriculum. So it's not just a badge for participation, not just going through a program and getting a badge as a way to display it, but rather, can you prove that you know how to act? How can you execute what you just learned? And that's where you all come in to the equation. So first, let's talk about industry specific. This is something that aligns with curriculum at FGCU. And you may have heard some presentations along the years. We've been hard at work for 4 years developing these programs. The first and the most data that we would have to support is a program related to the medical device industry. And this is where we learned from employers, we didn't introduce this very well across our institution to our students. They didn't know what opportunities they had within that industry and right here in Southwest Florida. And so students in this example have the opportunity to take a course, and once they complete that course, and they have to achieve a pretty high standard. I jumped ahead of myself, but, I get excited when I get to talk about the examples. But it's the bridge, and it's aligned to 4 credit courses, and then it's optional for our students, but we involve the employers every step of the way. So these are examples. So I am going to go back to the medical device industry example in just a moment, but do you see your industry up here? Because if you don't, I want to challenge you to work with me, because we would love to have one for every key industry here in Southwest Florida. But we have partnered with these employers right here in Lee County in order to develop a solution. How can we better inform our students of the opportunities within these types of organizations or industries, and how can we give them that achievement so that they can prove that they're ready? So this is the model. This is how it works. We first engage with you, our employers, and then we immediately bring faculty into the conversation with us so that we can work together to inform that new micro-credential program that we will offer to our students. And as they earn it and they are able to prove to you all that they know these skills, competencies, and abilities, they earn that digital badge and they can share it widely. On places like LinkedIn, they can embed it as a link on any application, anywhere that they can share that information electronically. Okay, so here's the journey. They take the course. Our faculty will assess their learning, so we maintain that academic integrity. The faculty member is the one teaching the content within a course. Then the student completes it, and they meet the qualifications to get the digital badge or pursue it. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that students have the option to go on, but they have to meet minimum criteria. So I'll get right back into my medical device industry example, and what I'll share with you is that it's not for everyone. The students have to be the best of the best, and so the students must qualify to do this type of a program. So they have to earn a grade of B or better. Then they complete additional assessments and assignments. So that micro-credential is that and. It's that additional content. Well, in this example, the students have to do a 15-page research paper voluntarily. Why? Because the employer partner said, we want researchers. We want people that are capable of writing, capable of getting that research, capable of looking at data and making informed decisions. Then they have to give an oral presentation. Successfully, they get that badge. And not everyone does. It kind of whittles down over time. But what is critical about this model for FGCU and the employers who have worked with us? They're guaranteeing our students an interview. So what's the ROI? The student knows the ROI is, I might get a chance to work for this organization or this employer. And that's the commitment I want to make as a student along the way to that degree, that journey. Okay. So now we're going to talk about transferable skills. And I can share that I have a few colleagues in the room with me from FGCU. And one that I'll point out, and I'll ask him to stand and just wave to you, is Dr. Glenn Whitehouse, who is the Director of Core Skills for FGCU. So this is his program, but I will present for him on it to talk to you about what we're doing to ensure that our students can show you transferable skills. And we know that sometimes you think of these as soft skills or more of the personal skills, but we call them transferable skills because we believe that a student can achieve all of these, and they can transfer their knowledge into any workplace and environment. But we want you to have that confidence in the graduates of FGCU. So these are designed for our undergraduate students. We aligned them with the National Association of Colleges and Employers and the core skills that all employers desire of college graduates. So here is a list of the 8 competencies. Do these look like competencies and skills you might like to see in employees? Would you like critical thinkers, problem solvers, people who can communicate well both in writing and orally? Do you want team members, people who are going to know technology? Well, we want to help make sure that you have that confidence in the graduates of FGCU. So we know that employers want you to have both career-specific skills, but also those transferable skills. So these are the 10 digital badges that we have created at FGCU and that we have launched for all of our undergraduate students, because we believe very strongly, and we know that we teach this, that our students are practicing this throughout their entire educational journey, both in and outside of the classrooms at FGCU. So it's a 2-part process for our students, where first they identify what skill they'd like to pursue and get that digital badge in and prove that they can do it and do it well. They first create a portfolio where they pull together artifacts across the time that they've been enrolled at FGCU. It could be something external, something in their classes, but great writing assignment examples, or a team project that they worked with. Or maybe they have served as a tour guide for the Office of Admissions. They know how to go out and give that oral communication and talk very, very candidly and confidently as they address groups of people. So anyway, we have the students pull together that portfolio, and then it's assessed by faculty to say, is this a really good example of the work that you've done related to that skill? So related to that oral communication. So we make sure that students are really identifying the best stories that they can share with employers so that they can show you confidently that they bring those skills to you as an employee. So then they interview about it, and it's open-ended. Tell us a time that you've really learned how to apply leadership skills or oral communication or critical thinking. And so we have the student practicing that interview so that when they come to you and to your staff for that first interview, they're better prepared. And we want to make sure that they are better prepared and that they are able to then articulate it. How many of you have ever left a job interview and thought, oh, I should have said that? Oh, I wish I had talked about that. This is our opportunity to proactively help the students avoid that mistake. So then we also have Continuing Education and Skills Academy, and this is the most exciting part of our work right now, because this is our opportunity to upskill and reskill any of your current workforce and those that are coming into the workforce, because things change pretty rapidly. And what I love about our model here at FGCU is that we aren't just creating programming hoping that it's going to make an impact. We're not creating programs because we think it's the information that you need people to know and learn. And so this, again, is something that we're doing directly with employers. So I'm excited to share some of these brand new programs with you that have launched or are launching in the coming weeks. We know that there's a critical need to help prepare first-time supervisors. We know that we have to be caring very much about the pathway into education and healthcare. So what can we do in order to better prepare not only our current talent that lives here, but those that are already employed but wanting that upskilling opportunity or reskilling opportunity? All of these represent free programs that, I know that Whitney was able to share how many we are able to offer for free because of the generosity. We have 30 or more programs today that are free to residents of Lee County because of that generosity from Lee County. And what I can share with you is that we really care about coming up with those solutions so that we can keep the talent here and bring the talent to you. So with that, I again challenge each and every one of you, if you didn't see your industry represented, please talk to me, because we would really like to partner with each and every one of you so that we have these opportunities across our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. We may have time for a couple of questions. Any burning questions that someone might have? Going once. Question? Yes.
Thank you. Good morning. Gloria Fonseca. I am the owner of Fonse's LLC. We are a trade construction company. So the employer that you guys are looking for to partner with, you two, do they require any specific amount of employees that we need to hire?
Not at all. We really believe that across an industry, this is a way for us to create solutions with and for you. And if we do it well, we'll bring more employers that are in the same industry together so that we all have confidence in what we're building.
Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you. And again, so many of our businesses here are 25 employees or less, right? So we saw a lot of the big names. Again, you shared a little bit about that, but are you getting inputs from the smaller businesses to create these programs?
At FGCU, we are. We really want to engage even more intentionally with our small business community. But what I can share with you is that what we're really trying to do is create something that no matter who the partner is, you all see value in it. And so when you think of something like healthcare, if you represent, a smaller business related to healthcare or manufacturing or something along those lines, knowing that Lee Health was involved in the development of that credential, knowing that Lee Health says they will interview anybody that goes through that because of what it represents. Our hope is that other employers will see that same value, and we will always customize it for an employer, whether it's small or large.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much to our panelists. Great. I wish we had another hour to go through more details, but and last point, there's funding available now. We have a year left. So if you have a family member, you have employees, you have someone in your network, we need to we don't want to leave this on the table. We don't want to leave this funding on the table. Okay? Great. How about member input? Do we have any member input?
I know how excited you are, Guido, but I'd like to go back to number 2 and make a motion to approve the minutes from November 17th,
oh my goodness.
2023. Do we have a second?
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Oh, thank you so much. My God, I got to go back to school. Is there a certification course on that? All right.
So are you working for chair? Is that what you're searching for? Okay. No, thank you. That's a great job, and Guido's doing a good job. Good morning. I want to just thank Kristen and Whitney. What a great presentation, and what I want to talk about goes right along with what you're trying to do. The Foundation for Lee County Public Schools has a Take Stock scholarship program. As part of these Take Stock scholarships, the students are matched up with mentors. And so we need adult mentors. It's a great program. It's well-funded. We get matching funds from the state. The challenge is getting enough mentors to put with these students. And I can tell you that the scholarship money is an important part of that program. I think the mentorship is perhaps the most important part of it. We all think about our own lives. We had a mentor probably that really helped us meet our goals. And if you want to take an at-risk student who just doesn't have people in their lives that can help them make these good decisions and get them into their college education, take some time to do it. It's very rewarding. And unlike Mark, I did bring handouts that are on the back table. So thank you.
Great. Any other inputs from our members?
Good morning. Southwest Florida Technology is looking for 2 new board members with a background in accounting and a background in marketing. So if you are excited to explore the growth of technology in Lee County, let us know. We'd love to have you as a future board member.
Fantastic. Great. Going once? Okay. Great. Thank you. So just a couple reminders. The Supplier Diversity Workshop in collaboration with the Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council takes place on the 29th. Waste Management Organization spent $638 million with minority suppliers last year. They're looking to spend $800 million this year. And we're fortunate that their national program is being presented at the Collaboratory on the 29th. So there's a sign up for that. Horizon Council Day at Lee Health Sports Complex, 105 at Friday, March 22nd. Our next Horizon Council meeting is here on April 26th. And just to put it on your radar, the Business Issues Committee workshop takes place on May 10th where does this take place, Gary? The Emergency Center on Ortiz. All right, registration will be required. Any motion to adjourn? So moved. All in favor? All right. Thank you all for being here. All right, man. They're all downhill from now. Yeah, I just got to remember to approve the minutes.